is calling right now. I love this. Hold on, Travis. Travis, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, my man?
I love you. What's going on? Even though I'm going to make believe I'm in Massachusetts and it's legal, I got a lot of people. I think I got a lot of people watching. There's people in and out. So, what's going on, my brother?
Not much, man. I've been spending most of my day off today. It's starting to rain, and I've been concentrating on this Bellator card, Bellator 185 coming up.
And we have been talking a little bit about that. You did do a write-up for a poster I sent out for the Denning against Don Shana's fight, a big matchup for Bellator, big New England matchup. You did a nice write-up for Facebook, and I posted the poster, and we attached your write-up, and them guys were sharing it all over the place. People were eating it, so I appreciate you for doing that for me, Travis. I'd like, you do that down in the future. I love it. I know you're busy doing you work for Western Mass, you do stuff for them, you do stuff for your own, contact, what is the name of your like page on Facebook?
Full Contact Writer.
So you're doing a lot of stuff with that. You're doing a lot of things for like a bunch of people writing and writing for yourself. And we do talk about Bellator. You just got your credentials today. You called me asking me if I got my credentials for Bellator. And I was like, oh wait, I haven't looked at my email. And I talked about you coming on the show, and then I got right back to it. I said, Travis, we're going as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Bellator, I can't wait. It's going to be my second time covering Bellator, and I'm super excited, as I always am.
So let's talk a little bit about you and what you've been doing, because the last time, I haven't seen you since the last CES card, or have we seen each other before that, after that?
No, I think probably the last CES card. I feel like I've been on a couple month hiatus, but there really hasn't been a whole lot of stuff that I've dipped my hands into. I did go up and talk with the Between Rounds Radios guys, and I did a interview with John Rayo from First Class MMA in Brunswick, Maine. They got a lot of fighters coming up on the NES 31 card on the November 3rd from the Aura in Portland. So I did some interviews with those guys. That was fun, but I haven't really been to any fights since the last CES, so I'm excited. I got a bunch of them coming up. We got like 5 or 6 fights I plan on being between now and December, so I'm getting ready to be really busy again.
Yeah, we did talk about that. Yesterday or the day before, about how you're psyched about all the cards coming up, and you were kind of like picking and choosing which cards you were gonna cover, and you're covering all the ones I'm gonna be at. Either I might be a fan, like the one your NEF card that you're covering. You're actually gonna be maybe calling that fight.
Yeah, there's a good chance. If I'm not on the Flow Combat broadcast for the entire fight, that I'll at least do a fight or two on the main card. Typically, the commentary is provided by the Between Rounds radio guys, and they invited me to possibly cover a couple of those fights live on Flow Combat. So it's a huge opportunity for me, but it's something I'd be sitting in my seat doing through writing if I wasn't doing it through voice. So I'm excited to kind of get my voice out there, and hopefully I reach a lot of people. Well,
yeah, you have that in you, because when we sit at the media table, you're writing out the fight as it's happening, and you're kind of talking it as you're writing it out, and we're like chattering back and forth, because sometimes where they sit us, we need 4 to 6 eyes to see what the hell's going on. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, you definitely have the knowledge, and you know what the hell's going on. You're educated enough in MMA and martial arts that you would make a good color analyst or any kind of commentator to call a fight, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna go to the NEF card. I'm probably gonna go to media and take your spot in that media spot while you're at the cage side calling the fight. So it works out for the both of us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I still haven't got anything ironed out and totally in stone yet, but I'm definitely going to be there. I will be available to do the commentating. If I'm not doing that, I will be painting my picture, as I always do, on the westernmassmma.com website. But either way, I'm going to keep you guys, the New England fans, updated on one of the bigger New England cards that's going to happen in Maine this year.
Excellent, excellent. And like I said, I'll be there supporting Matt Peterson. He let me go to the last card way up in Maine. I don't even remember. It was like a 6-hour friggin' drive for me. But it was great. It was great getting out of, like, you know, getting deep into New England and seeing a whole nother promotion with fighters I never even, you know, really seen before except for YouTube. And it was something special to me because I was meeting all different people I've never met before, fighters, and they're all the same, Travis. They're all friendly. They all want to get their name out there, and they all want to talk to you, man, if they know they're going to get a little play, you know?
Oh, totally. This is a big family, and we all have our big, lofty goals of one day being recognized nationally. And whether you're up in Bangor, Maine, or you're down in Boston, or you're down at Twin River or Mohegan, or you're fighting for the promotion, you're promoting the fight, or you're a writer, we all have the same kind of goals in mind, and it's just we're all riding that big MMA bubble like everyone else is, and I think that's what brings us together as a family. New England MMA is a great family. We try to reach a lot of people, and everyone who gets recognition from us or seeks recognition from us totally deserves it, and it's a great way to put ourselves out there.
Excellent. And you know, there's a bunch of us in New England, more shine than others, and more go after the story, or a little more aggressive than others, which is fine. I mean, all types of media and supporting and promoting our fighters. You know what I mean? Any little bit helps. But I know, you know, as far as me and as far as watching you and Travis Sinclair and all you guys are doing, man, what you are my main source for local MMA write-ups. And I mean, Keith Roberts from the MMA Takeover, he's great too. He does a lot of national, he does a lot of like more national write-ups on particular fighters and cards and stuff. But you guys are my go-to guys. I mean, for everything as far as local, when you call like a CES show, or Cage Titans or anything, I use all your updates and everything. I mean, I look, you guys are one of my backbone and media sources that are very close to me and I truly need. Yeah,
man, I feel for you, because before I was signed up to work with Western Mass, I used to use Western Mass just as much as anyone else does to keep track of the local fights and stuff like that. So it's an honor for me to be able to finally do that and put it into my own words, I guess, for the New England fans. Give somebody a little bit of different aspect as far as how the fights are playing out and stuff like that. I don't call them all correctly. People can see that. I called the Almeida against Pedro fight exactly opposite of how the fight played out, but I do try to do my best to post a non-biased opinion on what I think is going on in the cage, and sometimes I get it wrong, but I think more times than not I get it right.
Travis, nobody gets it right all the time, man. And you know what? I have to go to our it could have been the seats.
Yeah. That could be the case.
It could have been the
view. I mean, I love CES, but they don't give me quite as good a seats as I get up at NEF. But NEF, all my fights that I've called at NEF that have gone to decision have gone my way.
There you go.
Maybe we just need to be a little bit closer at CES so we can give the fans what they need to hear.
Hey, we've been arguing that for a while, but it'll come. It'll be coming, brother. It'll be coming. As far as I talked to you today, and we were very excited about getting our media credentials for Bellator 185, because we have a lot of New England fighters there. And we also, we have Masasi making his debut. And, hopefully, I'm not going to knock on wood, he doesn't get hurt on this card, because you did announce that we did have another injury, correct, today, right?
Yeah, Liam McGarry's got a broken thumb and will no longer be facing Bubba McDonald at Mohegan Sun, which is a big letdown. That was a huge fight on that card. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was really three fights at the top of this card that everyone got excited about, and that's Shlemenko against Musasi, which is the main event. Now, coming into the co-main event is Brennan Ward against Dave Caveman Ripples. And that was originally going to be the third fight on the card. The co-feature was going to be the Liam McGarry against Bubba McDaniels. So the fight card took a little bit of a hit, but like you mentioned earlier, Lisa Insane Blaine is going to now be a Spike TV fight, which is huge for New England, and it's great that one fight fell off and the New England fans win, because they get to see one of their girls perform live on Spike TV.
And you know what? You mentioned that, and about the lineup change, and with Lisa moving up to main card in the Spike portion. We have Don Shanis and we have Denning fighting. Them fights can be pushed up along the night also. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Also, it's tough to tell with Bellator with their TV slot. Sometimes I hear the fighters say this is part of their frustration when they fight on Bellator, but some of the fights end up getting played after the main event, so it's usually a long night of fights.
Yeah,
I want to go up there and cover our New England guys that have to be there pretty late.
Yeah,
so, some of the prelims get pushed to postlims, and I end up staying there till 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they basically have to wing it a lot of times, just like I do with my media coverage. But sometimes it works. I mean they multitask, they get it done. And like you talked about, some of our fighters have to go to the dock fight, and that's what happened to Don Shanis last card we were at. He didn't go on until 11 o'clock or midnight. I can't even remember. It was so late, and he still had half that friggin' place packed with his fans. And he's everyone was chanting for Shanis. Shameless Nation was definitely in the house for that. Which actually, the part I like about these postlands coming after the main event is that all the local fans typically move down closer to the cage, and you get that almost like local card feel. Exactly.
Where it takes away the rest of the arena, and we're now a family again. We're New England MMA again, and the national attention might have gone away, but the fights are onto the decisions and stuff like that. It's great for the sport. Hey,
funny story, the last Bellator we went, I think it was like Bellator 178 or something. It was the last one of Mohegan Sun. And, I send like my interviews I do with any fighter fighting on Bellator. If they're coming to town, I send them to their press guy. I don't want to say his name because I got a pretty good dialogue with him. But he's kind of cool with me. But I never seen him before, so when I went to that last Bellator, I was sitting, and we all found our seats, and that's when you walked down. I think you sat around with Keith, and I sat toward the end with Kerry Steller, I think. That's who I sat with. So anyway, the dude who runs all their social media or whatever, he walks by me, he goes, I enjoy your interviews. And I thought he was like, I didn't know who he was. I thought he was another media guy from New England or something. And I go, oh, who are you? I said, thank you. I said, by the way, are you a media guy? He goes, no, I'm such and such. I'm the one that got you in this show. I'm like, awesome. So he was watching my interviews. But the funny story is when Don went on the fight, you know me, Travis, I steal video everywhere. It don't matter. You know what I mean? So I'm over there videoing Don's fight from, press row. And the dude's on the end because he has to be there until the end of it. And, he's doing all his networking and shit. And all of a sudden, I walk over to him later to, I'm filming. He looks over to me and he goes, shut that camera off. And I went, and he goes, just kidding. and he walked away. I was like, fuck yeah, I got Don Shanis' whole fight here. I was like, holy, now that's the way it should be, dude. Nobody else gave a shit. It wasn't on Spike. He knew it was one of our New England fighters, and he let me record that damn fight. And it's on YouTube, and I haven't got sued yet.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great stuff, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, some people let you do it, some don't. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about this card, because like you said, you worked on a big write-up. So let's talk a little bit about this and what you got to say about it.
Yeah, definitely. Now I'll sit back in my chair and get my computer in front of me so I can talk sensibly about this.
I can look up anything we don't have.
No, I think I have pretty much everything I need to know. So far, I think that there's about 10 fights on this card that have some sort of roots in New England. Not necessarily just New England, but the Northeast. I got some people from New York and New Jersey and things like that. But it's pretty big for New England. We already mentioned the Shanis and Denning fight, both New England guys. We got Lisa Insane Blaine we talked about, and she's a local fighter. We got one of the, I hate to say this because he's a good guy. He fought Mike Rodriguez at one of the last CESs, but Alec Hooven, he's from New Jersey, and he's fighting an absolute beast in Jordan Young from American Top Team. Young could very well be one of the biggest up-and-coming stars in Bellator right now. He's a career 7-0, and He's going up against Tubin, like I said, and Tubin's definitely up against it here. I don't typically pick these local fights, so I'm going to leave my prediction out of it, but that's definitely one of the tougher fights on the card for anyone coming from the Northeast.
Now, I know... go ahead.
Yeah, nope.
I know you don't pick. We never pick local. I don't pick local fights. And when I call a fight, I call it wrong anyway. So I don't even you know what I mean? I'm biased at every fight I watch.
Yeah.
So, but you know Manning, Denning a little bit because he does fight and he's fought for Neff a few times, correct?
Correct.
And he's a veteran as far as going in there against Don Shanis. And what are you looking? I don't want you to pick winners or something, but this is an exciting fight because Don Shanis, I do believe is he 3-0? I think I interviewed him. He's going to kill me.
3-1, I believe.
All right, he's got one loss.
Yep. A little bit about Denning. Denning is training with Central Maine Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That kid's probably one of the better fighters in Maine who, if they get in trouble, if they're on their back, on the canvas or something like that, guy's got great submission skills. He's lost a couple fights to some much bigger fighters. He talked about not cutting weight the last couple times out. He fought a welterweight fight against a guy making his welterweight pro debut. He's fought a lot of bigger guys, but he's one of those kind of guys that when NEF calls him with a fight, he just steps in and takes the fight. He doesn't really look out for his record. I know a lot of people look out for their record these days, but Matt's one of those guys that's just going to come in. He's looking to put on a show. Matt fought at the New Year's Eve World Series, a fighting event down in Madison Square Garden against Tommy Marcelino. Put up a little bit of a fight, got submitted, but Matt's a real game opponent. His last fight was against Dominic Jones at NEF 30, I believe it was. And Dominic Jones had a lot of hype behind him. He's training at First Class MMA with John Rayo, and he was kind of a big name. And Denning submitted him with a nice rear naked choke. So he's definitely a game opponent. Like I said, it'll be his second time on the national stage at Bellator. He's been there before. He's fought big guys. I believe they're fighting at a catchweight of 160. Yeah. So Matt's fought as low as 145 before. So again, he'll probably be cutting a little bit more weight than Shanis will be. But I don't know. It's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, Shanis.
I can't really call.
Yeah, Shanis. He's an animal. He's a grinder. He'll grind you. He puts you against the cage. He lays you down and just grinds you, man. And he's hungry. He's coming off a Bellator win. I think Bellator 178.
I remember him having a pretty decisive decision victory.
Yeah, and I mean, we got experience, and Shanis got experience, but he doesn't have as many pro fights as Denning. But Shanis is definitely one of those new fighters that knows how to promote himself and knows how to get a fight sold and knows how to get his name out there. So I love that kid. Denning I met at the last NEF card that was in Bangor, and we hung out a little bit after the fights. He wasn't fighting, but he was just there. He's a hell of a guy. I'm gonna have an interview with him soon. He might come on the show, but I might be ending the show in a few minutes after I get done with you, depending on if anyone else wants a call. But we could go all night. I know, super nice guy. But I want to talk. We got Johnny, Mr. Nice Guy against Billy Giovanella, and we have Lisa against. I can't think of the other woman's name, but she was a professional boxer. She's 2-2.
Yeah, she was actually she was a WBO and IBA champion at one point before she started fighting MMA.
So
cool.
That's a good.
It's Anna Juleton.
Yeah, I posted a poster for Lisa yesterday, and Lisa reposted it, which was awesome. I love when they do that. And she's very excited. I've talked to Lisa. I had an interview. I think I was actually Lisa's first interview ever because she was nervous coming on. And
right on, and she fought for Premier too. So
yeah.
We're at that fight.
She's coming off. I think her last Amy fight was a head kick knockout, and then she knocked out Tammy Warwick, I think, in the second round or so in that last premier fight for her for her pro debut, and now she gets a Bellator call up, and now she's on the main card fighting for Spike. So good for her. Good for our New England fighter right there. Good for her team and all. She's got a lot of monsters there. So good for everyone all around. And it's a female fight. One of our females. One of our females.
I mean,
go ahead.
It's one of those things where there's a lot of males getting attention from New England, and it's time for fighters like Lisa, like Carrie Kennison, like Aaron Lamont, like those type of girls to get some national attention, and it's great to see that that's going to happen.
Excellent. Yeah, I love it. You and I always say CES got to get more girls on the card, or it's hard. I know it's hard to get them on there, but they're. If you look out of state or something, they're everywhere. I mean, you can get them. You can get them. You know what I mean? There's just some negotiation and everything. And more women. We need more women on these cards, and it'll get there. It definitely will. So another fight. We got Johnny and Billy, Joe Vanella.
Yeah.
Johnny coming off a loss against Remo Cottarelli from that last card.
The Bellator 178 card, and I talked to Johnny after that fight, and I think I agreed with him. I talked to him at the Fed after that fight. They were not too happy with that decision, and I'll have to look back on my live review of the fight, but I think I remember Johnny kind of putting it on Remo a little bit, but Remo did a great job defending the takedowns and stuff like that. And, and Remo looked pretty sharp on his feet, but I think that fight could have gone either way.
Yeah, definitely could. I think, you know what? Remo did hit Johnny with a shot in the first round that did buckle his knees a little bit.
Yeah.
And you know what, like you said, it was very competitive. It was basically a grappling match. I mean, there was some stand up in there, but them guys were two snakes on the ground. And hats off to both of them. Like you said, either one could have came away with that victory, but Remo came away with it. And Remo's not on the shelf, but he's waiting for another opportunity. He wants to fight for Bellator. That's someone he wants to come back for them. I did talk to him offline. I think he had a fight fall through. He was in negotiations, but he'll be back for them in 2018. He did definitely say he wants to fight for Bellator, and that's a good move for him. He's coming off that great win with Johnny, and he's in a great division, and we have a lot of movement. We got Johnny and Billy fighting, and we got Josh Ritchie, who's fighting for Cage Titans, but he's coming off he's coming off a win for Bellator. So if he has a good showing at Cage Titans in November, he'll be on another Bellator card in early 2018 or whatever. And
totally. Those gonna be for the top few guys in that division in New England.
Definitely. I mean, Josh Ricky, he's from New York, but he's close enough. I mean, he's right on the edge there. So it's kind of like a big tournament for flyweights in the Bellator scene for our little East Coast area here.
Oh, for sure. Flyweights definitely making a name for themselves around here. And then you got to think about it. You got Carlos Candelario sitting on the shelf right now, too. He's probably the top flyweight. You got Cody Nordby, who can fight at flyweight. He plans on going back to flyweight when he comes back from his deployment. So the flyweight division in New England could be quite interesting in the next year and a half.
Excellent. And that's a division that, Dana White from UFC doesn't really like, but now he's on Mighty Mouse's ball sack for that last win. You know how that shit works, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, flyweight division's wide open across the United States. I mean, they're going to have to find somebody eventually that can make that 125-pound weight division that can fight Demetrius. So I talked to Nordby a couple months ago, and he said, look, the fastest way to the UFC, the fastest way to get a title shot is through the flyweight division. So you're going to see a lot of these bantamweight contenders try to lose that extra 10 pounds and go out there and make a name for themselves and quickly up their ranks into the national contention and possibly even get one of those matches in the UFC.
Excellent. And Dana this week, he's high on Mighty Mouse, so let's let's get that train rolling now until before he shit talks that division again.
Well, dude, Mighty Mouse has to get his due. That guy has been getting absolutely trashed on for the past few years for, he cleaned up the division and things like that. He hasn't lost since he fought Dominic Cruz, but this dude is the greatest fighter of all time. He's got the greatest championship reign of all time. I don't think anyone can really argue it. And the only fight that he's really even balked at is going up a weight class. I mean, I feel like if TJ's coming down or whatever, I mean, Mighty Mouse isn't a big flyweight either. He's one of those compact flyweights. Not that there's any really big flyweights to begin with, but he's one of those guys that I don't see in the 35-pound division or fighting a guy coming down from the 35-pound division. He's going to be one of those guys that just continues to clear out flyweight.
Yeah, Dana's going to come up with something for his next fight. That's for sure. You know what I mean? He's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat, or he's going to make a cyborg that's 125 pounds that can go in there and fight, Mighty Mouse. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, or maybe we get another one of these New England guys on one of those contender series, and before you know it, we get one of our guys.
Exactly. You know what? Maybe Dana should. Maybe Dana should go out there and have like a flyweight tourney, and the winner, goes against, Mighty Mouse somehow.
I mean, he's done it before with one of the episodes, one of the seasons of The Ultimate Fighter, and then Tim Elliott just got mowed through again. Right?
Exactly. So you know what? Go find a diamond in the rough, like in somewhere in like the so what? You know what I mean? He's making.
It's gonna be somebody. It's gonna be somebody who not a lot of people have heard of. It's gonna be one of those people that step up from an LFA promotion or a legacy, one of those Access TV promotions. It's going to be one of those guys that are going to come up, surprise some people, and there's no reason it can't be one of our top 5 or 6 guys in the flyweight division from New England. They're all great.
Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? You know what? Carlos Candelario, like you said, he's on the shelf. He blew out his knee in that contender series, season 4, where he was very impressive going against a Brazilian champion, basically.
Yeah, a guy that was actually on that Ultimate Fighter to
coach.
Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. And he even coaches a lot of MMA, big MMA time fights.
He's Jose Aldo's personal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, and he got submitted by Carlos Candelario.
Yeah, exactly. Holy shit, exactly. You know what I mean? Props to Carlos. He'll be back. You know what? He's a lot of shit is going on right now, but he'll be back. My Facebook Live
I
just
don't
went
want to
up.
leave any New England guys out of this conversation from the Bellator card because I feel like they're due. So I'm just going to let you know that there's a couple fights I have that have New England ties on that fight card, Bellator 185. And that's Steve Scraps. He's fighting. He's a middleweight guy from down in your area. He's 7-9, and he's fighting what looks like to be an absolute beast. Guy who's 8-1 from the Netherlands. His name's Costello, and guy looks like it's going to be a tough fight for our New England guy, Steve, but guy's got a puncher's chance. He's always in it. I believe he trains with the guys at BSP MMA.
Richard Santiago's guys?
Yeah, I think he trains with those fellas down there, and Steve's been around. He fought my buddy Kevin Haley a couple times. He's fought for Bellator before, so that's another guy we got coming out of New England. We also got Vodka Clay, who's fighting Frank Forza for that's a pretty big match here in New England. Vodka's 6-2, coming off a win at Combat Zone. Frank has never lost, amateur or pro. He's 8-0 as a pro, so Vodka's one of those rising stars that could surprise anyone, but Frank's never lost, so that's a great fight for New England.
So we got a lot of good stuff happening, man. You know who just tuned in? Lisa Insane Blaine just tuned in. She's probably hiding right now.
She might be hiding, but her ears were ringing. She knows.
Definitely. Someone must have said, "Hey, Lisa, they're talking about you." Lisa Insane Blaine, I love you, dear. We got an interview coming up. I can't wait. This card, when is this? Next week, right?
It's the 20th, so not this Saturday, it's the following Saturday.
All right, next week.
Following Friday.
All right, no, I meant, this weekend's already here for me. It's the following weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm going to team up with you and Keith Roberts from MMA Takeover. And here's my idea, brother. We're supposed to have dinner before the show or something, or we're going to go have something happen. We're going to get together, he and Son before, right?
Well, I figured, you'd wine and dine me.
Well, yeah, definitely. I don't know if I want, I don't know. Three's a crowd. We might have to keep Keith out.
Hey, I bet he can take a hint if that's what happens.
Actually, he can serve us. He could be our waiter. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Keith, Yeah, Keith and I have an idea. Like, if we're gonna hang out there, before, I guess doors open at 6 and fights. Who knows when fights start? But we can have a go live right from like where we're eating or hanging out, and we can talk about the show or whatever from there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, as long as no one's busting my balls because I don't have a drink in my hand. Because as some of you MMA media know, I do not drink. I'm allergic to alcohol. So no one come on that live thing and say, hey, you're at Bellator, you're at Mohegan, why don't you have a drink in your hand? Because that's not my vice, but I will talk some MMA.
I'll hold the drink that you're not having, and I'll have it.
Oh, absolutely.
It takes me a couple to be stealth-like,
Oh, yeah. You're never very stealth-like. I feel like you got the Access TV guys on your shoulder at every event, whether they're covering it or not.
Everybody. Hey, no word of a lie, Travis. When I was at Lion Fight 38, I didn't sit at media. Like, I got a media credential, but I sat with the crowd. I, interviewed everyone and their mother. It was the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I was watching the pit, and I could see like the Access TV guys like looking for me. It was because I was posting shit while I was there, but I wasn't like posting it from media row there, the pit. So I could,
Exactly.
I swear to God, Travis, I could actually look at, like, I think they had walkie-talkies specialized just for Domenico 101 MMA.
Dude, I'm telling you, don't go to the bathroom at an Access TV show because they're probably going to stick something up your ass so they can follow you around New England.
Oh my God. Hey, Matt Denning is here. I'm wondering if he wants to come out and talk real quick.
Matt Kendall Denning, by all means, I will give up my spot on your show.
Wait a minute. Let's see what he says first. Matt Denning, are you watching right now? You want to call in? Or do you want to wait and have a real interview? He just got done with training. He's beating people up. But Matt, we just talked all about you, brother. It's like you had an interview with me.
Yeah, I told him a little bit about the man, but that guy's...
All right, he says he's in, Travis, so let's talk for 2 more minutes. I'll hang up with you. He can call in and you can listen and ask him questions on the feed.
All right, I'll give you a great interlude to Matt Denning because... You said how good of a self-promoter Don Shamus is.
Yeah.
And Matt Denning is one of the old school self-promotion guys. I mean, his nickname is the Ken Doll. The guy's always got a nice tan, some nice hair, and he's out there to put on a show. So Don Shamus might have met his match when it comes to somebody for self-promotion. But Matt's a great guy, and he's in there for the right reasons, and he just wants to put on a show for New England. So, by all means, have a great time with Matt, and I will talk to you later.
All right, wait, give me 1 more second. Still talk for a second, because I got to give him my number, and then he's going to call me. So I'll hang up with you.
I mean, I can talk. I don't need to be told to shut up.
Dude, I think they shush us all the time at the fights. They'll
They know that when we get together, we're an unstoppable
That's
force.
probably why they don't put us next to the cage, because they know we're going to be like talking the whole time, like fucking talking in the fighters' ears. All right, I'm sending them my number. All right, last question before this dude calls, Travis.
Sure.
To get off New England MMA, what the hell do you think is next for Conor McGregor? Is he defending that belt? Is he fighting Nate? Is he fighting Ferguson? What the hell do you think should happen?
All right. I mean, everyone talks about him going back to boxing. He's talked about going back to boxing. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he needs to come back to the UFC and show that he's the dominant champion that he left as. Not that he left the UFC or anything like that, because I'm sure he's still under fight contract. I had to check on the details, but I think he owes it to Tony Ferguson to come and try to take that title back and prove that it's his title, that he's never left, and that he is the king of the UFC. And what are you going to do, Tony? You're going to do fucking nothing.
And you know what's funny? When Tony was doing his post interview, and he was, something he said, I was like, it made sense. He says, I don't think Conor's afraid of anybody. I think he's afraid of losing money. That's all he's afraid of. He's not afraid of a fight or anything, or even losing a fight. I think he's afraid of losing the top paycheck. So, with that said,
Conor's got his own. He is his own promotion.
Yeah.
That guy is bigger. I hate to say it, but at some points he's bigger than the UFC is right now. So he sells just as much tickets to the UFC as the UFC sells to Conor McGregor fights.
Exactly. And you know what? I said Conor McGregor could fight a fucking toad, and he could still do 2 million hits of pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who he fights. But
I'd probably get stuck with another $300 cable bill if he did that. You know?
yeah, exactly. And the thing about what Ferguson did say, which is true, he said if you look at everybody Connor's like talk shit about or whatever, he says he's never mentioned my name. Like,
yeah, I mean, Tony's a pretty good guy. He's a little odd. He's into the self-promotion as well, and he's his own biggest fan, but he does a little bit more proving in the cage. He fights a little bit more than Connor does. I think it's a great matchup. It's good because Tony's a lengthy lightweight, and he could probably stand a distance from Connor and probably pick him apart a little bit. Tony's got some great wrestling. Connor would have trouble getting to the ground. I don't know. It should be a good fight, but Connor's on another planet right
yeah, if Connor doesn't get murked early, I don't see him losing against anybody. I'm sorry to say. Yeah. I mean, I hated that dude from the, when the beginning. I just hated from the shit talk and him just the bad talk and all the other fighters that paved the way for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but,
I honestly hated him for the longest time,
yeah.
but I hated him for so long that I ended up liking him.
Exactly.
I just like the fact that he's a made man. He's made himself. He went from a guy who was, basically homeless now to a guy who basically owns the UFC and owns Las Vegas.
Excellent.
Hey, congratulations on your first show, buddy.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. We'll keep them going every Wednesday.
All right, brother.
I'll see you on the 20th.
You got it.
All right, buddy.